All right, so when people in the conversation bring up Trump, and I say something as clear as a bell, Donald Trump is the worst president ever. They always, the first thing they go to is, well, what about Obama? What about Obama? What about Obama? And I'm just like, worst president ever. That goes all the way back. Oh, well, Lincoln owned slaves. And you're like, okay, but what about all the other good ones in between, like the Johnsons, one of the Bush, you know what I'm saying? Like, even Nixon did good things. You know what I mean? Like, as comparatively to a wide variety of people who have been in office. Well, the differences, each one of them has been different. Okay, you got one of them played the saxophone, one of them that got wooden teeth. You know what I mean? So they're a diverse group. But if you take all of them as a group and listed them, okay, Donald Trump fares better on a list of would-be dictators than he does on the president's list. That real now. I just heard it on a report. Yo, listen, I hear what people say, I internalize it, and I think, you know what? That's pretty close to accurate. And I decided to use it. Now, do I think he's an authoritarianism? Sorry, excuse me. Do I think he's an authoritarianism? You know what? Get back to me. I don't know what's going on. My tongue in my head, this is not working right now. But you know I know the word, right? If he's not down for authoritarianism, if he's not down for authoritarianism, see, that's, anyway, then he wouldn't do the things that he does and parade people up there that say they're down with him. That's the thing that kicked me. When they removed the provision that required there to be an outside agency to oversee any sexual misconduct in the workplace violations, when Trump struck that down, he had women standing around him. See what image that portrays? Like, how could this be against women if women are standing for it? But I just heard Current News earlier today said that women were the biggest voting bloc that voted against Donald Trump. Now, I've been waiting for weeks for the numbers to come out as to each individual demographic. Like, males versus females is the first one that always stands out. And then white women versus every other ethnic group of women. And it's there. See, the male population, it generally, you can generally tell what the male population is going to do based upon their location. The female population is, that's where you know where the juice is. Okay? If you've got the majority of white female voters backing a president, then the majority of white male voters are going to vote for that president. And that white female voter, those white female voters are going to influence other races to vote that same, other male races. They may not be able to convince female races to vote that way, but they are more likely to convince male voters to vote that way. See how the numbers suck in? You see what I'm saying? If you have a larger or if you have a larger African American or Latina vote for a candidate, they're going to draw, again, mostly their demographic and a small portion of the white demographic. We're just talking about the way females move and move within the system. You see Stacey Abrams. She's vocal, let's get it. There are other black women who are in the limelight. Kamala Harris, congratulations. Okay? But there are other females who are getting it done on the ground, who are pushing men to, or pushing the boundaries of what they've been told that this is what we're going to do. Well, I can see it. Saying things like they know they need help. I would rather take advice on what is needed to survive from somebody who's barely living. I don't want to ask somebody who has four big screen TVs in the house, a Cadillac, 2 Cadillacs in the driveway, all the bells and whistles. No, you've gotten there. However you gotten there, you've gotten there. Now I've got to get the person on the bottom to some semblance of regular. Like, what would be a baseline you think for someone to live? Because the national poverty line, I believe. Now this is another one that I think that it is, but I'm going to make sure that I'm correct. But I think it's like less than $50,000. Less than $50,000 a year. Think about, for example, how much do you think you spend almost that in rent? If you don't spend maybe half of that in rent, let's say you spend half of that in rent. Okay, you just spent $50,000 in rent. You have a vehicle, $10,000. Let's just say a $10,000 vehicle, right? So you done spent $35,000 already off that. Then you got to eat. You got to buy clothes, shoes, insurance, this and that to pay these bills. You know what I'm saying? And you just barely making it, right? Well, there's a consensus on what I'm going to say next is, oh, well, then you shouldn't have kids if you can't afford them. Well, first of all, life happens. And you should want people to have more kids because that's the next generation of workers. You're killing your workforce. I never did understand that. I understand in a place like China where they're limited land-wise, but this is America. We ain't that limited. We are not that limited. I've driven through miles and miles and miles of nothing. At least in Illinois, you get some grain silos, windmill tool. You know what I mean? Like, when you're driving through Florida and Georgia, all you see is trees. That's it. I don't know what's going on the other side of them trees. All I see is trees. That's it. So we got room to grow, you know, and we want people to work. So why would you shrink the workforce? There are jobs available, but you don't want people. You don't want to pay people. See, and this is the thing that gets people screwed up. They think that if somebody can sit on their butt and get a check, they would rather sit on their butt and get a check than work a job. And I'll play the odds. I will say 1 out of 3 across the board. I'll say 1 out of 3 across the board. If you said, look, I got this job, you can make $50,000 a year, or I can give you this check once a month for $50,000 a year, and then equal up to $50,000 a year. I believe that at least 66% of the people will take that job, because they know that if I take that job, then I can get another job, or I can connect with somebody. Or the other thing that popped into my head, you got them people that say, "Yeah, I take the 50,000, but I'm gonna find something else to do." You see what I'm saying? Where I don't think that there would be a vast majority of people that would say, "I'm gonna take the 50,000. I'm just gonna sit on my butt for a year." I don't think that Americans, on the whole, like I said, I believe that there's 33% across the board that feel like that, but there are a lot of get up and go getters. You know what I'm saying? So that being said, if you know that, right, you know that you have people who are willing to work. Why not invest the money in putting them to work? What are they going to do with that money? They're going to spend it. We had the brief example of if you made $50,000 a year. That brief example is after you paid off your car. Well, that's for the first year. The next year, you ain't got to worry about paying off the car. But still, so you got that extra money, right? What do you do with that extra money? You save that money. Now you can save. See what I'm saying? If you got the $50,000, you can go to work. You can go to work, right? You've got daycare for your kids are in the education system. From working from 9 or from 6 until 6. Your kids are in the education system, and they're being educated properly and fairly across the board and taken care of. You can go to work during the day at all these different jobs that have been coming up in these sections. And then what you're going to do with that money, you are going to buy your family clothes, shoes, their wants and needs, and that money that you just spent, that you're getting paid, is going back into the economy, because your health care, you don't have to pay for health care. You don't have to pay for your children's education. All you have to do is go to work and spend money on your family. That's all you have to do. And I believe 66% of Americans, I'll say even higher than that. I give this is just from my heart. I believe that upwards of at least 85% of Americans, if given just that basis, I will give you $50,000 a year to work this job, and all you have to do is be at home for your family and spend money on your family. That's all you have to do. And we'll take care of the rest, because that $50,000 is going right back into the pot. Right back. You may have to wait for it to be processed, but at the end of the day, that $50,000 is going right back every year. The $50,000 every year, $50,000. You give out $50,000, and you have provided all of your citizens' needs. You're getting that $50,000 right back. You're just washing the money. And I don't understand why that's such a hard concept. I don't understand why that's such a hard concept. There are jobs in America that need to be done. There are construction jobs. There are not just residential but commercial. Okay, there are roads to be laid. There are buildings. I'm sorry, I already said buildings, but there are bridges. There's a transportation system. You know what I'm saying? They could be innovative and upgraded with the proper manpower. And how do you produce the proper manpower? You hire people. You train them on the job. Oh, excuse me. One of the things that I find funny about those dystopian futures where somebody just feels like they're a cog in the machine. Well, I get that, okay? And there should be the ability, you should be able to move upward. But the only way to move upward is there have to be more job openings. See what I'm saying? Like, they constrict the number of jobs across the board so nobody can move up. So you got people retired, so you got people working 20, 30 years for a manager opening, or you know what I'm saying? See, 5-6 years for a manager opening. We have this problem in America where we can't see beyond tomorrow. I mean, there are people who do see beyond tomorrow, and not saying I'm clairvoyant or anything like that, or putting me in the category of that. But there are people who see into the future, but decide that, no, I want mine now. I don't want to wait 3 months, 6 months to get my money. No. Now, I want it now. I want it right now. Yeah, that's the mentality of America. That's why we have fast food chains. Yo, man, I'm not cooking tonight, y'all. You're not. No. Go get the kids McDonald's. Yeah, that's what I said. I don't care. Yo, go get the kids McDonald's. Bring them back a Happy Meal, and then that's it. All right, bye. Love you. You know, that's the conversation nowadays. Go buy and get that bucket of chicken now. You know them kids love that chicken. They love that chicken. They're not even quite black. Although that one little girl, I swear, I don't know where. Anyway, but I mean, again, the money is there. There's money all over the place. Money all over the place. And if you just take 6 months, that's what, 2 quarters? That's 2 quarters. If you take 6 months, the whole stock market will bounce back so much higher. Because you think about it, right? Somebody gets a $1,200 stimulus check, right? They go blow it on a car, right? That money goes into the car company, right? That car company increases its sales for the year, right? Increases sales, increases profits, increases probability, its stock goes up. Now imagine if 300 million people, America is comprised of, a last estimate that I knew of, it's over 300 million people, which is only half the population voted. But 300 million people. If 300 million people bought $100 pair of Nikes, how much money did Michael Jordan get again? You do the math. Come on, people. Come on. But why? Because of what people at the top. There's a story that says, I forget how it goes, but the guy had it was grasping the grains of sand, right? And the harder he grasped with those grains of sand, the less grains of sand he was able to hold on to. You feel what I'm saying? Like, these people on the top, they think it's small potatoes. I'm sorry, I don't know why it seems like I'm the only one that see this thing. Yo, listen, if I was a CEO of if I own Walmart right now, man, yo, I'd get all the people together right now. Yo, listen, I'm finna raise the prices at Walmart. No, I'm finna raise the starting wage at Walmart to $15. They're gonna look at it like, oh, you lost your mind. We're gonna have to raise our things to $15. No. Listen, hit me. We'll raise it to $15. But we're gonna keep our prices the same. What? Think about it like this. Somebody comes in. They got enough money to buy one outfit when they really want to. If you give them more money, they will buy 2 outfits. And we've made twice the money. I can see the whole room jaw drop. Like, wait, no. Huh? You see what I'm saying? It's like McDonald's. I'm going to break it down to McDonald's like this, right? I'm not talking about giving people to flip burgers $15 an hour. But give the people the price. Give the people at least the price of your most expensive meal. How about them apples? Because you want them to give people a set standard across the board, right? Yo, $10 an hour to flip burgers. Okay. People getting 9 right now. Well, no. Let me take that back. Wait. Scratch that. Because I'm not a believer of. I understand the position of fast food. Okay, you know what? I'm just gonna take it to Walmart. We just keep it at Walmart because that makes the most sense, right? I can't use fast food because in my thought process and my plan, at 15 years old, you can go flip burgers at 15. You go flip burgers, and because there will be other jobs available. You see what I'm saying? But for example, right? If the most expensive meal at Burger King, right? I got a spicy chicken sandwich with bacon and cheese. It cost me almost $9, right? If my minimum wage is not enough to afford a meal at Burger King, if I work 1 hour in America, if I work 1 hour, I should be able to eat at any restaurant, any fast food restaurant. If we're going to use fast food restaurant as a basis, because we ain't talking about no PF Chang's or Red Lobster, nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? If you make that kind of money, you make that kind of money. But I'm saying, just starting off, a person should be able to make enough to be able to at least afford a chicken sandwich with some bacon and cheese and some fries and a drink. $9 an hour. $10 an hour if you're older or have more experience. You know what I'm saying? $9 an hour, fine. Now a waitress, you gotta adjust for tips. Okay, I understand that. But understand that the more money regular people have, the more they're gonna go out to restaurants. So a waitress's tips is gonna increase, which means you're gonna have to build bigger restaurants and you're gonna have to employ more people. See, the thing about what you call it, trickle down economics, is the bigger your base is, the higher the pyramid is. And I just realized that realized how to put that into words just now. Because if you think about everything that I've talked about, if you put the money in the hands of the people, then they're going to just spend that back into the economy, which is going to pass more money into the big businesses and the banks and the corporations. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's getting a piece of the pie. Now it's going to get more pie. It's going to be the same size. it's gonna be the same size piece, but it's gonna be more in it. Like, it's gonna be the same cut, like on the top, but the depth is gonna be so much more. You know what I'm talking about? So, but yeah, but they ain't willing to wait to let that bottom layer to develop. Because, like I said in the example, if Nike know they can sell you one pair of $100 shoes, and you stretching your money, they know you stretching your money, and they can still get you to a pair of, you're at poverty line, less than $50,000 a year, and they know they can get you to buy at least 2 pairs of $100 shoes. At least 200 pairs of $100 shoes. Imagine if you had the money and it didn't bother you. You'd buy 4 pairs of $100 shoes. Now they've sold more shoes, same price, but they've sold more. See what I'm saying? It's supply and demand. The people have the money. Now the people have the money and they demand your supply. They need your supply. Right now they need your supply, but they don't need your supply. Because they can get it elsewhere. They're not going to spend the money on the $100 pair of shoes. They're going to get a $50 or $60 pair of shoes. See what I'm saying? So the big corporations are really squeezing themselves out of money being so exclusive. But if their employees had more money, their employees would invest more into their own companies. See, and this is the rub of why the rich man won't pass through that, why that camel won't pass through that eye.